Hello and welcome back, friends. We're glad you've joined us. My name is Michael Yates. This is the Ridgeview Pod, where we try to cover everything hope, healing, and recovery related. As always, a friendly reminder to subscribe and ring that bell so that you get notification of our each time we publish an episode. Uh, Back by popular demand, Holly Griffith. Welcome back.
Hello, it's good to be back.
Yeah, Happy New
Thank,
Year.
thank you,
I th-
thank you.
I think we
Happy New Year.
last recorded in December, and were able to create an episode that was specific for board membership and a resident of the permanent recovery housing. So
Correct.
we're glad we were able to do that. Uh, but I wanted to have you back just to talk a little bit more for the public awareness about your role, what you do, and the new introduction of this program in Campbell County. So
Hmm.
let's just start with you. So tell me a little bit about you, your role, and how long you've been with Ridgeview.
Okay. So I started working with Ridgeview in May,
You
the very beginning of June, and my role for Ridgeview is a peer support recovery specialist, and I'm an apartment manager. We have 7 apartments total, mine being one. I'm not a client of Ridgeview, so we have 6 clients living at the apartments. And so far, we've been fortunate to only have females there. All of the residents that we have there are mothers, and they have struggled with opiate addiction or some type of substance abuse, and they are all in recovery. They are all in remission. They are practicing recovery, and they are all working on like healthy relationships with one another, healthy relationships with their children. A lot of ladies, when we're out there in addiction, we lose custody of our children or whatever, and we have 3 residents there that have custody or working on or do have custody, have their children in their home at this time. So we just and we have one that just got visitation rights yesterday. And so we just have a healthy community of women in recovery there at the apartments. It provides that extra support that you need with peer support. I've been in addiction myself, so I understand what these women have went through, what they're going through, because I've been through the same thing pretty much um, with a mental health facility in the past. And so I'm able to put myself in their place and help them get through the struggles that they have. They are
know,
in a stop or missed program, and
which is a substance use disorder treatment program,
it is.
community based.
It is.
Yeah.
We are not a 12-step program as far as Ridgeview and the apartments and everything. It's based on healing and recovery and stuff. But it's kind of neat because we come from the same background, substance abuse, but we're all in recovery by different paths, and it's really cool just to um, see and act and believe how many different paths there is in recovery.
No, that's a great point. Well, let me back up a little bit further, and just how did, and maybe you gave an indication of how you got into this field by sharing part of your story, but how did you end up uh, finding this to be your call, your purpose? Tell me a little bit about that.
In October of 2018, the I was on an abandoned porch, and I was getting high, and the police took me. I wasn't arrested or anything. They were pretty sure that if I didn't receive some type of recovery help, that I was going to die. And one thing led to another, and I went to a 30-day treatment facility. From there, I was just beat down and broken. I took some advice. I went to long-term treatment finally. And whenever I was in long-term treatment, I remember when I was about 6 or 7 months sober. We were reading the meditation and they were like, "Where do you see yourself, in the future and stuff?" And I said, at that point, I'll never forget it. I said, "I just hope if I'm able to stay sober, I can help somebody not feel the way that I feel today." And I had that drive ever since when I started believing in myself. I had that drive to be able to help other people. and it's just kind of took off from there. My daughter, she worked for Ridgeview. That's kind of how Ridgeview came about, knowing, being familiar with me in recovery. And they got a hold of me and told me about the apartments, and it's just took off from there. I was working a treatment facility, and I feel like it's just furthered my recovery as far as not being in treatment, not working in a treatment facility, but I kind of get to work with women that are still continuing in
Mhm.
recovery, because a lot of people are under the impression that when you work the 12 steps, or whenever you complete treatment, or whenever you get your kids back, that life is good, and
Mhm.
it's not. It's not that way. We have we have to get to the root of the problem, and we have to work on that daily. And it's just a beautiful process like that. So it's kind of helped me evolve also by wearing this, or being in this position.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, I mean, thank you. I think it's always a compelling testimony to know how people come into this field, and
Hmm.
certainly your distinct, unique role in helping manage permanent recovery housing is buoyed and strengthened by lived experience. And certainly the residents there know I can reach out to Holly because she knows what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
She's been there before, and I think that's really powerful and necessary for a successful, lasting program. Now, you mentioned you know, for folks who may wonder, well, how did this happen? So this is funding from the state from the Chi 2.0 Creative Housing Initiative. Uh, But what's unique about this is permanent recovery housing. And so often, people who have been impacted by substance use aren't even able to secure basic rent or any kind of housing, either due to charges or past issues where they won't qualify for those opportunities. This actually helps us and allows us to give folks a chance to get housing over their head, literally, and they can stay. It's permanent. They don't
Yes.
have to worry about it being a 1 month, a 3 month, a 12-month agreement. And what a relief that can be to know I don't have to worry about this. I can now look at other aspects of my life, whether that's employment, education, continuing my recovery, getting my children back, uh, being a better parent, all those things.
Yeah, we offer all of those services, and that is like the key thing, to success in recovery, is having those resources available. So I'm familiar with the resources available. I live with the women. I'm familiar with recovery. I can present history of understanding them. I can present unity with them. I can be a friend with them. I get to know them on a personal level. And I kind of they trust me a little bit more, and I'm able to, and they have like a case manager that works with them intensely. They go to Stop or Mist, other programs. But when we're out there in active addiction, we kind of lose the skills that most normal people just have. They learn and they hang on to. When we're in active addiction, we don't have bills, we don't have permanent housing, we have bad behaviors and stuff, like sick behaviors and stuff. So we just kind of have a lot of grace with people and help them get a good foundation, so that way they have a safe place to raise their children. They have a safe place to have recovery. If they're feeling a certain way, it's okay. They can reach out to one of the ladies that live in another apartment and we're all on the same page
Mhm.
as far as that goes, and it's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, it's beautifully said. I do think there's so much to be, the benefit of a safe community, a supportive community, one of both formal and informal supports. So if folks need to be connected to a program, you know how to help make that happen. Uh, but there are people that have, shared life experiences in that recovery process that, uh, when the chips are down, they can, it's a community that can be supportive of one another. So that's really cool. So, Holly, how do you take care of yourself? I mean, this is hard, hard work, and you're living and breathing it
I
all the
do.
time.
I'm getting better at boundaries. When I'm not at work, unless it's an emergency or something, as far as at night, I'm not constantly helping somebody or constantly talking to somebody. I have to cut myself off. I'm getting better at that. Um, I do a 10th step inventory every night, and a lot of people don't know what that is, but if I find myself disturbed during the day about something, I have to find my part in it. And if I can find my part in it, I'm not so angry with you. And I'm able to take healthy behaviors and replace the negativity behaviors and stuff like that. I do that. I just had a new grandson, and I'm going to get to see him Monday. So I am active with my children. When I was out there in active addiction, I wanted so bad to be my kid's mom, and I just didn't have it in me because I couldn't live for myself. And today, I'm very active in my community. I have everything going for me that I always said that I wanted to do, and I'm able to do things that I never thought that I would be able to do. But I'm able to do things that I wanted to do.
Hmm.
I have found like that confidence in myself. I'm independent. Um, just the things that I used to be worried about, I'm not worried about it today,
Hmm.
and it's just a whole new world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just as one small example of, seeing you constantly in the process of trying to make the community better.
Hmm.
It was a community health fair held at Clinton Baptist Church. Shout out to them. They've been on the podcast. And there were, I don't know, 60 agencies represented at this thing. Ridgeview had a table there, and I think Melody Morris and I were hosting our table. And across the room, I see you
Yes.
uh, on a Saturday. And not only were you networking around, was it part of the recovery community or
It was
12-step
for
program?
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yes. And in the midst of that, also you were receiving some kitchenware uh,
For them.
for the apartments, for the
Yes.
residents, and I just marveled at, oh my goodness, here is
Yes.
Holly continuing just to be a good steward of hope, healing, and recovery every day of the week.
You
So,
know, it's just doing what I do, and I'm passionate about it because I love it, because I've been on the other side of
yeah,
it. And I do it for my recovery.
yeah.
And
Well, you can tell. You can
yeah,
tell. Well,
thank you.
I I I just wanted to acknowledge that because we don't often enough appreciate and you know it's good to hear good things
Yes.
and to catch people doing good things and see it and name
Thank
it.
you.
So you're certainly a I'm a big fan. So,
Well, thank you so much.
well, as we conclude, we've been trying to introduce some little fun ways of getting to know folks because other staff will watch this, and
Yes.
it's another neat way just to learn a little bit about you. Uh, and so I've stolen this shameless uh, plug for one of my folks that I follow, Greg Bennett. he concludes his podcast by asking a few just random questions, and it's best if you don't know what they are because it's more fun that way.
Yeah,
So, uh, I hope you'll indulge me just
I
with a
probably
couple of
will.
these. All right. Uh, so, what's the first car you owned?
A Nissan Sentra.
Wow. You remember it.
I do remember it, yeah.
Big fan?
Um, well, I mean, it was my first car.
You always remember the first.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Uh, uh, if you could swap jobs with anyone else, who would it be?
Sharon Stratton. She's such a role
Uh,
model, an
yes.
amazing role model.
Okay, Sharon, you're on notice. Yeah.
Yes.
So yes, you work closely with Sharon in lots of ways, so I can totally see that. Uh, which would you rather do? Wash dish, wash dishes, mow the lawn, clean the bathroom, or vacuum the house?
Wash dishes.
Oh wow! All right, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it won't be surprising that usually the guys that I ask that question to, they say mow the
Mow the lawn.
lawn.
That's
Yeah,
definitely not what I would rather do.
yeah. Who would you want to play you in a movie of your life?
That's a hard question. That is such a hard question. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna say I don't know, Jessica Biel.
Okay,
I don't
all
know. She's
right.
always just a tough girl.
Sure, good, good. Uh, what dinner could you prepare?
Casseroles, chicken casserole,
All right. Those are your
take out.
favorite, or they're just you find them to be easier?
I just know how to cook it.
Yeah.
I'm not a very big cook, but yeah.
Okay. So after preparing that meal, three guests that are not family that you would invite to that dinner.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna ask you to come over for
All
dinner.
right. Okay.
um, that is such a hard question. Probably just people in recovery.
All right.
Some of my closest friends in recovery,
Okay.
for sure.
All right. I'm honored.
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
coming.
I'm sure it's going to be delicious. What decade of music is best?
The best music is 90s grunge.
Oh, wow. So we're talking
Yeah.
Soundgarden
Yes.
and Nirvana.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. All right. Other folks that have been on this podcast have not mentioned that. So you're the first to mention that group. So
Cool.
that's good. Or that decade. Should pineapple be on pizza?
Absolutely, it was yesterday. Yes. Mhm.
I believe Brandon Knight also gave a resounding absolutely.
Yes.
So, uh, where is somewhere you haven't been but you'd like to go?
I would like to go to mm, I don't know, just somewhere warm and tropical. I can't come up with
Yeah,
it
all
yet.
right. Hawaii, Tahiti,
Yeah.
Bora Bora, something. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds nice. Last question.
Okay.
Greatest movie of all time.
Forrest Gump.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Just this morning, I was running down here, and Trevor Bean, shout out to Trevor, he honked the horn and said, "Run, Forrest, run!" So, yeah,
Yeah.
seems to be the theme of today. Well, Holly, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you for
in.
having me.
You come back anytime you like,
Yes.
and Happy New Year to you,
Thank you, sir.
and Happy New Year to you as well. We really appreciate you tuning in. We'd love to hear from you. Please feel free to leave comments of other topics you'd be interested in hearing. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell so that you get our latest episode, and take good care of yourself. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.